don't think he's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely.
This is looking to be a very explosive fight. One that you definitely don't want to miss out on.
So what would the result be?
The prediction is will not last 12 rounds, I think.
At a heated first press conference for his upcoming fight, Manny Pacquiao shocked the crowd with a cold and serious message aimed directly at Mario Barrios. The 8-division champion, known for his fast hands and calm attitude, dropped his usual relaxed style and sent a strong warning. With cameras clicking and pressure building, Pacquiao made it clear this fight is more than just another match, it's personal. If Barrios thought he was facing a retired legend past his prime, Pacquiao's fiery words showed he still means business.
Okay, how's it going?
All right, good. Everything's good.
All right, so
Weekend. Good, man.
for a long time we talked about Manny Pacquiao coming back to us. For a long time we talked about him fighting. Now it's real, it's happening. Him and Mario Barrios, break it down.
Yeah, Barrios is champion, so it's a good fight.
WBC champion.
Don't count Pacquiao. Everyone's counting Pacquiao out because of his age. So he's a bunch of haters, man. He still has tons of power, tons of speed, and a shitload of experience.
If Manny wins, would it shock you or no?
No.
But it would shock the whole world.
It would shock the world, but he wins at his age, yeah. I mean, but it's not. Listen, he's 45, 46.
Are you leaving jail?
45, 46, but he's not. He's always acting. So he's always staying active. He's always doing something. He's mostly playing basketball, some sort of sport, something cardio. So no, not really.
When Nate Diaz beat Conor McGregor, he said, "I'm not surprised." So Manny could say that after he beats Barrios, that he wasn't surprised that he's supposed to win.
Well, what they? Well, yeah, Diaz beat. I mean, different Diaz. I like Diaz.
Manny Pacquiao's return to boxing after being away for 4 years has created a lot of excitement, especially after his intense face-off with WBC welterweight champ Mario Barrios. The 46-year-old boxing icon, famous for his speed and punching power, is set to fight the 29-year-old Barrios on July 19, 2025, at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas.
It's a very contentious subject, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like we were talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots and Barrios is not Crawford, and that's why, we pushed the Conor Benn fight. Conor Benn, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually Pacquiao is a step up, and people were still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Benn is Boots, but he still hasn't had those wins yet.
Pacquiao is back in training with his longtime coach Freddie Roach. Even though there are doubts about his age and long break from boxing, Pacquiao has shown flashes of his old form and training. Still, some fans and analysts are unsure if he can still fight at an elite level after being out of action for so long.
Ben, morning. You always do that? Yeah. I think I went home to Mexico. No.
Recent video from Los Angeles shows Pacquiao speaking with calm confidence, looking like he's ready for whatever comes. He talked about the pressure of being a role model and learning from past losses. He sounded serious but hopeful and looked sharp physically. In training, he's shown fast punches and smooth movement, like a younger man with something to prove. However, many are questioning if he should be fighting for a title at his age. The WBC's decision to rank him 5th has raised eyebrows, and some worry about the risks in this fight.
I'm hearing things here. Manny Pacquiao aiming for a shock return to the ring, age 46, Josh.
Yeah, I read something about that, man. It's that guy's my hero. You know, I named my dog after him and stuff like that. You know, stuff. But he's touching 50 years old. I think, you know, he should leave it where it is. You know, but you know, obviously, if you get a chance to share a ring with Manny Pacquiao, nobody's going to say no. You know.
Trainer Greg Hackett didn't hold back when giving his opinion on Pacquiao's comeback fight against Barrios. Speaking frankly, Hackett said if this fight happened years ago, Pacquiao would have easily beaten Barrios, but now he thinks Pacquiao isn't the same dangerous fighter he used to be. At 45, he says Pacquiao no longer has the same speed, energy, or killer instinct. Hackett called this more of a money-making event than a real battle between the top fighters in their prime.
Hit a lick, you know what I mean? But Pacquiao not Pacquiao no more. It's tough to go against him in this situation, because if it was some years ago, Pacquiao would beat Barrios. But right now, Barrios, with his momentum, might run and beat Pacquiao up. I mean, not knock him out, but, you know what I mean, beat him on the cards, beat him behind that jab.
Similar to like Ugas, the Ugas fight?
Yeah, like, yeah. It's a good fight, but it's more of a good fight for Barrios. Pacquiao don't need it, but Pacquiao want to come back, and he want to come back with a bang, so I mean, why not? If he can make it happen, Because I would love, if Barrios was my fighter, I would love to have a Pacquiao on the record. I mean, I would love something like that. And that's a fight you know you got to get ready for.
It's a fight that boxing fans want to criticize you for.
Yeah.
But the reality is, Manny Pacquiao has a diehard fan base that you're going to make money with that fight.
Yeah.
But everybody wants to see other fights at 47. You Stanionis, you Boots, you Brian Norman.
Yeah, but you want to steal as much as you can steal. You know what I mean? Because again, this shit is not forever. Just like anything else, it's going to end. So you want to make some money, and you want to do great things.
Former champ Tim Bradley had a similar opinion, saying the fight seems more about making money than winning titles. Bradley believes that when a fighter returns from retirement, it usually means they need a payday. Even though the WBC belt is involved, he thinks the main focus is the paycheck. He sees Barrios as the younger, active fighter being used to test what Pacquiao has left. Bradley even said Barrios might be able to finish Pacquiao, questioning whether the legend should even be back in the ring.
Pacquiao getting back in the ring again for a world title fight.
Well, obviously, you know, it has to be pertaining to any kind of money. You know, it has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money. 1, 2, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring, man, against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, you know, a fighter, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, you know, bigger fighter, knows how to, you know, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, you know, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits. You know, that Ugas fight, I don't know if it was enough for Pacquiao. That's why he's coming back. But Barrios, he can finish Pacquiao. There's a possibility that he can finish Pacquiao and basically cause him to go back into retirement once again. But again, what they say, the last thing that leaves is the power. If Manny got any of that power still left in him, if he lands that left hand, he can hurt the young gun. So, but that's easier said than done.
But Oscar De La Hoya has come out in support of Pacquiao's return, saying he still believes in the legendary boxer. While De La Hoya admits Pacquiao is in his mid-40s, he also says Pacquiao still has the heart, drive, and skill to take on younger fighters like Barrios. He praised Pacquiao's incredible career and said people shouldn't count him out just because of age. To De La Hoya, It's not about how old he is, it's about what he can still do in the ring.
I wish him all the best.
Father, I love him.
Can he do it?
Father?
Can he do it? Absolutely. Manny Pacquiao's
Oscar needs
he's a legend. You know,
some nice ones. Thank you.
he's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think he can do it. Yeah.
Even with the doubts, Mario Barrios remains cool and sure of himself. Speaking before the fight, Barrios said he respects Pacquiao but isn't afraid. He plans to stay focused, use his youth and longer reach to stay on the attack. Barrios doesn't see this as just a big paycheck. He views it as the most important fight of his life and a shot at making history by beating a legend.
When you see the Manny Pacquiao fight, what can you learn from that fight?
You know, it showed that, you know, combination punchers, you know, that's how Pacquiao, you know, was landing, you know, his punches, combinations. And, you know, it just showed that, you know, he is a great fighter, but I'm going into this camp, going into this fight confident, everything right with our game plan. And I'm going to try to execute it as best as I can.
Boxing expert Teddy Atlas isn't so sure Barrios really has the size advantage everyone is talking about, even though Barrios is taller and has longer arms. Atlas pointed out that he used to fight in smaller weight classes and only moved up because it became hard to make 140 pounds. Atlas suggested that Barrios' physical edge might not mean much once they're in the ring. This could make the fight more evenly matched than people expect. Pacquiao's return has surprised many, especially since he's been retired since 2021 and hasn't fought since.
Not naturally as big a man as those other welterweights. So start there. That's a fair point. He moved up in weight, Barrios. So he's not a naturally big natural welterweight. And of course we understand Pacquiao has moved up. My God. I don't even know when he first turned pro, you would have thought maybe he could have been a jockey.
Yeah,
I mean, he was
108 pounds, right?
Yeah, jockeys are about 105 pounds, I think, somewhere around that neighborhood. I mean, can you imagine him though going to the whip? He might have killed the horse. That's the only thing. Yeah, you would have had Petter. What is it called? Peter, whatever. Peter. You would have had Peter coming after you. You know, look what he did to this horse. You know, but look. I love Pacquiao, one of my favorite people, one of my favorite fighters in the whole world. He's moved up from like whatever, incredible weight. People forget about that. That's why I brought it up. How many weight classes this man has really moved up. Incredible, just incredible. But now, yeah, Barrios wouldn't be as big as those other guys, but he's still a guy that's confident. He's a guy that's a world champion. He's a guy who throws a lot of punches. He's a guy who's younger, who's active, you know, who I know you can't go by this guy beat this guy, but he could beat that guy, but he could beat this guy, but you can't go by that in my business, in this business, because styles make fights. But you're right. He beat Ugas. You could say Ugas was a little older than when he fought him a little bit, than when Pacquiao fought him. Maybe that made a difference, whatever. But
WBC President Mauricio Suleiman confirmed that all approvals were in place for Pacquiao to fight for the welterweight title. Many believe the Barrios fight is just the first step for Pacquiao. Rumors are flying that if Pacquiao wins, he might face Gervonta Tank Davis next in a huge matchup. Some think Barrios was picked as an easier opponent to help Pacquiao get back into the spotlight and build hype for what could be one last major fight. This battle might not be the hardest, but it could be a setup for something much bigger.
The WBC president Mauricio Suleiman has said Mario Barrios will face Manny Pacquiao this July. That's some crazy shit, bro. That's some crazy news. Manny Pacquiao is 46 years of age. He's making his return to the ring. And he said he wants to go out with a bang. He wants to finish his career as a champion. That's some crazy shit. Manny Pacquiao's professional record currently stands at 62 wins. 39 of those coming via knockout, 8 losses and 2 draws. Manny Pacquiao has one of the most impressive CVs in the sport of boxing. Just take a look at from 09, Ricky Hatton, all the way up until here. There's so many names: Timothy Bradley, Manuel Marquez, Shane Mosley, Joshua Cloteley, Miguel Cotto, Floyd Mayweather, Jesse Vargas. Like, there's so many names on this list. You know what I'm saying? let's take a look at Mario Barrios' record. 29 wins, 18 of those coming via knockout, 2 losses and 1 draw on his resume. What do I make of this fight? I don't know, you know. I mean, listen, this is a young man's sport. I ask myself, Manny Pacquiao, why do you want to come back and fight a younger fighter? You know what I mean? Mario Barrios, who is the current champion, the WBC champion. Why? What have you got to prove? You've proven everything throughout your career. So I don't know what to say. But anyways, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. And watch a clip of the president of WBC, Mauricio Sulaiman, talk about this.
As of now, Mario Barrios is the WBC champion. So who is he mandated to fight next? Do you have made that decision yet?
Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July. He wants to retire as WBC champion, so he's fighting in the welterweight division.
Why does he come out of retirement and get a WBC title shot in his first fight?
Because it's something that WBC has respected. Sugar Ray Leonard was retired 4 years when he requested to fight Marvin Hagler and defeated Hagler. So we do have that provision in the rules. A legendary champion with the credentials such as Manny Pacquiao. He has been medically cleared, licensed by Nevada, so we have voted in favor to allow that fight to happen.